that. Don't I? I completely forgot all about that actually. So even if I didn't want that app open, I still had to have it open. That's hilarious. What? Okay, there we go. It's working now. Oh, goodness. Welcome in, welcome in. How we doing? How we feeling? I was gonna go outside and stream. It's way too windy. I didn't want to chase the cards around the grass all day long. But if it chills out, because I want to do an outside stream at least once this week. But yeah, how we doing? I mean, my allergies have been acting crazy today as well. Let's see here. Yeah, well, hello. Welcome in. How we doing? How we feeling? Well, I'm doing well. I'm doing really well. Very well, I should say. And you're from New York? That's what's up. Where did it? Oh, it's right here. That's what's up, though. How's my day? It's going well. It's going very well. Is my stomach growling? No. There's nothing growling. That might be my laptop. I'm just acting weird. It's not been doing well. I do not know anything about that. I have no idea. That's what's up. Tell your mom I said hi as well. Where's the third is? It's right here. But yeah, we're doing 2 card pulls. I'm just multitasking, doing stuff in the background. So if anyone needs 2 card pulls or has any questions or anything, be sure to ask. And if it's something we can talk about, if it's something you know, or however. Oh, that's right, I have to do this thing. Oh, I didn't want to do that, that's not. Welcome in, welcome in. Welcome in, welcome in. Welcome in, welcome in. How we all doing? Great in mine. My day's doing very well. I can't complain. Random energy boost. I mean, we did leave the full moon in Libra, and that had a lot to do with balancing out things. So it could just be a bounce back from that, you know. Well, is okay. I guess this is broke now, and I can't do anything. Awesome. It is. Nice. Did a lot of cleaning? Nice. That's always good. Oh. It wasn't broke. I was just being silly. Do I have a favorite psychic ability or a meditation? No. I don't meditate the way other people meditate. So, I don't have a favorite meditation or psychic ability in that sense either. I don't really know what you mean by that in a context, or without context, I should say. Yeah, I think that worked. That's fine. Welcome in, welcome in. There's so much going on right now. Oh yeah, hold on, let me just... As an aspirational reviewing... Oh, no, not really. What do we do for messages that aren't for mass consumption yet? What do you mean by mass consumption? In that sense, is because a lot of times when we do receive messages, and thank you for the donation, I appreciate that. A lot of times when we receive downloads or messages, when we don't feel like people are ready for it, it might be because we ourselves don't have a grand understanding of how to proceed with it in that sense. Because when you're given a message, you're given everything with it. If your instructions were just to wait, that's all you do is just wait. You'll know what to do with it when time was due. But in the grand sense of it all, it's like you if you weren't told like, oh, don't say anything yet, then it's really a reflection of yourself not really being aware of, you know, what they're trying, what you're trying to convey. Excuse me, my brain shut off for a second. Welcome in, Lucy. Welcome in. Oh, because of that. Why is there so much going on right now? There's a lot going on right now. The second I was gonna go live, or decided to go live, everything just started happening. It's weird. Are carpools donation based? Yeah, they're donation based. You don't have to donate, but donations are appreciated loved. Yeah, I've been going a lot deeper with the messages. It's just kind of how things have been kind of moving. I appreciate love that. What are you in the reading on? We'll get down to it. Well, if that's to do that, then I could just. You'd be much reward. But Lucy, you want to know if you're on the right path? In Highborn, whenever you let me know what you want your reading on as well, and I'll get to you. Or if you just need it in general, just let me know for that as well. But if Lucy, if you're wanting a reading on if you're on the right path, then I can definitely do that for you. Just to make sure. So I know there was one on here somewhere. An internal predicament. Okay, I got you. So, Highborn, your first card is the Three of Cups. This is so for this internal predicament that you've been feeling with feeling stuck and highly emotional, but still getting put together. There could be a distraction or something that you're not seeing clearly, due to either parts that are still working through that healings part, um, or even like parts of life that are getting distracting, or like you're meditating and then right when you get to one point of like thinking about something you get distracted off that point or something. However, but the Three of Cups is all about distractions. There's some form of um like lack of clarity, or not even that, but I don't want to say easy route, but that's kind of how it's kind of like boiling down to right now, just for lack of a better term. It's like it's not that you haven't took any shortcuts with the healing, but it's like there's some form of shortcut that you're wishing you want to take out of this, like just what can I do to not feel or like go through this this phase of the healing, this confusion, this emotional confusion, this like not really emptiness, but just like void or like vacant is like it. You know what I mean? But you're really kind of just looking to fill that void up. Um, so just be aware of distractions at this time. And it's both the Knight of Swords even coming out. A lot of these distractions have to do with things like, oh, I can't do this, I don't feel like doing this, I don't feel like I can do that. And you know, keeping yourself away from the reserve that you're needing to be moving forward with. You could be getting a lot of answers within dream states as well. You could also be, yeah, I already said they're getting answers in the dream state. Um, but it's all about getting your head more clear, not falling for the distraction point of uh, almost how a past version of yourself would view this newer version of yourself's healing process. So just focus on that part of it. Um, Especially if you do feel exhausted, take more time to rest. I feel like you might be getting distracted from rest or being distracted from like releasing the rest of whatever's been like you've been healing from. Welcome in, Bobby Joe. Oh shit, well welcome in, Daniel. I didn't even know. They don't let you like see anyone who's in the chat at all. It's not fun. Because I like seeing people when they're in the chat, even if they're not going to talk, you know what I mean? But welcome in. Yeah, there's no room for disrespect. Yeah, definitely after journaling, take a while to like read over what you writ. If I don't, you know, if you do, and if you don't, definitely do it. But if you do, give yourself like a resting period afterward. But regardless, like read over what you journaled about. You know, don't just journal to get it out. Always like go back and look at it in that sense. Um, because it's gonna help you see a little bit deeper of like who you actually are, in a more like true and raw form. Because even sometimes we'll hide things from ourselves. We'll hide like who we truly are, how we truly feel from ourselves, so we don't feel like um, off or like bad, or you know what I mean. It's like a weird ego thing. It's a seesaw. It's gonna go back and forth with the ego forever. Like it's just about um, removing that right or wrong mentality. Yeah, the love's about self healing and stuff. You can say that. No worries, Highborn. That's what I'm here to do. I appreciate love you as well. Well, that's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, I don't want to do that at all, actually. I'm gonna scale this back down. serious? Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. I got it. 2-card question. Got you. If you see me looking really intensely at my screen, I'm working on a sigil. I. Wait a minute. Is that finished? No, it's almost finished. Okay, I almost have the luck sigil. I almost have that one finished, and I'm just working on another sigil. The physical integration fatigue, how we honor the dream manifestation. How much is a 2-card pull? It's free. You don't have to donate, but if you do want to donate, you can. But they're free. But I can get you Aussie real quick. Let me get you. Alright, so your first card is Aussie. It is the 10 of Wands reverse. And this is kind of saying that there's a lot that you need to let go of. You might be or you might have been letting go of a lot of things recently, which has kind of caused a lot of this, more of this exhaustion. But regardless, right now, kind of stay at a like an empty vessel with when it comes to ideas for what you're trying to manifest. Right, have the goal in mind, but don't worry about any of the steps getting there right now. Really, just focus on what you desire, what you're like the end goal. Because now that you aren't holding on to any of these sort of ideas, or if you have these like a bunch of all these ideas, release them so you're not overbearing yourself. But right now, just giving yourself that open area, that open rest, is what's gonna help you. Because you're not able to get to that next level just yet when it comes to this manifestation, whatever you're trying to get to. Because you need those new ideas, a new integration of self, or however. But again, even with the 4 of Pentacles reverse, letting go of things, not being so worried about how long it's going to take, as well, or worry about the materialistic, how it's going to look on the material realm, right? Not worrying about your manifestations being as abundant or as grandeur as you imagine them to be, just knowing them, just fully knowing that it's all going to be there for you. Just knowing that, even if it's not as big as you once desired it to be, it's still coming into you at a form that is acceptable to you and not going to overburden you. So really just work with like releasing, and almost, it's not like it's kind of like a perfectionism desire, but it's like, it's not even about like the control. It's about perfectionism. It's just about like trying to fine-tune things behind the scenes. So really just working with that aspect of self is what's gonna help you move forward with these next manifestation phases for you. And of course, then you can get a 2-card. What are you wanting it on? But yeah, that's something that I used to struggle with a lot. When it would come down to like releasing a bunch of stuff, and then since I was all empty and had no like you know, no old gunk. I would be like, okay, let's get new ideas in it, and I would like steam myself out really quickly by doing that. So it's just about trying to find that balance of like, okay, now that I've done everything and nothing's like kind of moving forward, let me rest and let things like move a little bit forward before I move. Oh, that's the one we already have. Yeah, I'm like fighting with it. Always, always. I keep saying I'm gonna go live, and I just like it slips my mind so much. It's not even like good. It's bad how much it slips my mind. But I was reminded very, very quickly today to go live. I was taking a nap, and I was like, wait a minute. You can't be taking a nap all the time. I've just been resting, honestly. Times have been very, very interesting. That's pretty cool. Much energy for you? I got you. But yeah, Sydney, I'm still waiting on to know what you're wanting a reading on. I got you for that though. Alright, so Steven, your first card is the Four of Swords, reverse. There's a lack of crowned thought, or a crowned thought that might be, that keeps getting like pushed down. Be aware of that. Be aware of like selling yourself short, almost. Like, be careful of that. Feelings of like not feeling good enough. Not well, let me use a better word than that. That's too vague. Feelings of, I guess, like confusion, like inner conflict, of not knowing if a decision is correct or not, and not trusting your thoughts due to past choices that you've made, or things of that nature. Learning to trust that masculine version of yourself in a more in a less gullible way, I guess would be a better way of saying it. But kind of just being aware of that. Just be aware of like what thoughts are pounding on you at the moment. Because there's something about them that's trying to show you something. Yeah, even with the Knight of Swords, if you're having issues moving forward, or thinking about things like, oh, am I running out of time for something? definitely pay attention to the thoughts that are on your mind the most, because those are the ones that are kind of burying or trying to they're trying to show you, but what's actually happening is they're burying the golden thought. So really pay attention to that. Like, oh, well, I need to do these things, and I haven't done these things yet. It's like, well, maybe those things that you need to do, um, whether or not you deem them necessary right now, are the actual steps you need to take to move forward. So just kind of being aware of that, just seeing what thoughts are keeping you from moving forward on like your on the path that you're on right now. Welcome in, Cassandra. I'm doing well. That's overlay. I'm doing well. How are you doing? One step at a time. That's really what we're doing out here, you know? Nice. Oh yeah, welcome in, everyone. Hopefully everyone's doing well. What do you mean by that, Patrice? Well, I can't give a reading on Robert. I can only give a reading on you. I don't know, Cassandra. I might. It all depends. What the hell's going on? I click on YouTube, it like exploded on me. I mean, it would be a lot more helpful just to get a 2-card pull than a collective rating, because a collective rating is not gonna, tell you anything about you specific. It only allows your ego to latch on to what it desires you to know, rather than you knowing what you need to know up front, which is a lot more important than people would think when it comes down to reading tarot. I've just walked the path before. I don't think about it too much, honestly. I mean, I think, you know what I mean? Like, I think about it, obviously. Like, I think before I say things, but I don't know. It slips my mind a lot that I don't know. I don't know. My brain's just not ready sometimes, I guess. But I mean, I understand the liking of collective readings. I'm kind of swaying away from it. Just because of like what I'm doing and like at least what I'm trying to do. But I'm not like against them. They're not like bad or anything. They're just not as direct. Yeah, I will be doing more collective readings. I don't know if I'll do them like live per se. I don't feel like that's something I would do anymore. But I'm not like against or like hate doing collective readings. I can do them. I just don't know how often they'll be. What's going on? That was a year ago. I mean, yeah. See, that's why I'm not like totally opposed to doing them, Cassandra. Because I always like talk a lot more about this stuff. Because like even in my old readings, I would like talk about something and then go off hook and like start like giving out information, and then I would just not ever talk about it again. Like it would just never be brought up, which was not intended. But no, yeah. I feel like at some point, uh, what I'll do is I'll run through the tarot cards, um, and just talk about them in depth a little bit as well. You will learn how to block yourself spiritually. Well, first know that a spirit can't be blocked unless it's entrapped, right? You're not. It's not that you're blocked. Blockages don't exist in that sense. What they are, they're hurdles, and you're not seeing things from a high enough view or jumping over the hurdle. Instead, you either run into it or try to walk around it, right? Or like that's avoidance and all those other things. It's about overstanding or overseeing things, so that you can see that it's not a block or like a gap or a hole. That you're only seeing it from one dimension. When you're feeling blocked, it really is because you're not seeing it from its full angle. You're not seeing that it's something that can be solved. Um, Not even that it can be solved, but it can be overcame or healed from, or removed. Everything has an option to be or not to be. It doesn't have to be in one form. It can be in another, right? So when you're dealing with blockages, it doesn't have to be something that blocks you. It can just be something that allows you to build on top of as well. Like, you know what I mean? It can be something that help you expand your vision, your mindset, your mental awareness. All these things that can help you expand those and learn more about yourself. And learning more about yourself just brings you closer to your creator. You know. But definitely like when it comes to but if you are struggling with like the blockage part, that doesn't mean to just ignore that it's being blocked. Like if you feel like you're being blocked, obviously allow yourself to work through that first, because if you just try and jump through that, it's just going to make things more complicated, right? So work with what you have and then learn how to move forward with that sense. So if you're wondering, so if you are still like feeling like no, it's a blockage, again, it's one of these things where um seeing what's blocked and then connecting it to yourself in a spiritual manner. So, oh, my money's blocked. Well, money is relating to your self-worth, your authenticity is related to your money, how you see the world around you, all these things, your worth. How are you describing things? What price are you putting on something? Are you seeing something as good or bad, right? All these things, changing that perception of things can change, the influence of, creation or money coming in and out. That money isn't like anything physical. Those are like ideas or pathways that you're walking down or following to get to what you're desiring, right? Because when people are, even with like abundance, oh, my abundance is blocked. A lot of people think abundance is money, when abundance is it could be a lot of things, and abundance is just a lot of something, right? So it's just comparing to it spiritually. So you'd work with like your heart chakra, your solar plexus and stuff for that. Like I just feel like my love life is blocked. You can do like a sacral chakra, heart chakra, root chakra to help you trust more as well with that sort of thing. Just connecting it in that sense helps remove blockages. And when you see the issue in that sort of sense, then you can do the chakra meditations with that in mind. Like I'm gonna do a meditation on my sacral chakra, but this is, I'm just gonna listen to like a 5 minute or 10 minute frequency meditation, no like guidance in it at all. But I'm gonna put my intention to unblocking the my comparing my worth to my financial status, or comparing my financial status to how other people might see me, all these things of that nature, removing those things first, and then worrying about, then okay, so now that I've removed these blockages, now I can start to see how they weren't blockages, right? And then you know moving down that path. But never let someone say something doesn't exist, because if you're experiencing it, it does exist. There's just a different way of looking at it. There's another angle that's a less threatening, a less sharp, I guess, angle would be a better word to use, that you can look at it from, so it's not as tantalizing. What is that? Why does it look like that now? That's not really what I was wanting to do. I always got something going on here. I got like so many tabs open actually. What the heck? Okay. Nice. Awesome. Everything matters, yeah. Everything has a purpose, truly. And yeah, this is I love this community. It is a very, very comfy place. It's a super comfy place. And no, why is it making that much noise? I don't know why. I just thought that was so funny. I cannot escape it. Okay, hold on. Let me. Okay. Daniel, I know exactly what you mean. I feel that. I've been studying a lot of different things. I've been doing a lot of experiments. And it's been, if I didn't have the divine with me and they were helping me through it, dude, I don't know what I would have done. I would have like exploded or something. Like, I say I explode a lot, but I probably would have like actually just like exploded and just not done it, like crashed. Not like crashed out, but just like went to like fell asleep for like a week or something. I don't think I would like. There's just been way too much going on. A lot of planning. Dude, I don't know. Rabbit holes are fun to go down, but just give yourself time to process stuff, you know? Like, don't don't worry about grasping everything right now. It's fine. The seed is planted and it's okay. You know, it's just one of those things. Yeah, that's the one thing. When people, oh, this is a good topic. I don't know why. This is a good one. The topic of free will is always so fun to talk about. Um, because people are like, so how do you have free will if, we don't have free will, that's an illusion, because if you had free will, then you'd be able to do what you want, and you wouldn't have the voice in your head telling you not to do it and trying to stop you. But at the same time, you're using your free will to let that voice overtake you. So you're always using your free will, you're just not using it to the best of your ability. Like, that's the thing. We're always using our free will. We're just not happy with the results. They're not the results that we want, and it's just because we don't know what free will is. We don't know how to allow our will or allow our desire for things to be free. We have to keep it captivated or like latched onto something or addicted onto something. We can't just have it and release it because we have this attachment disorder. Um, So when we're talking in the realm of like free will, we're always doing what we desire. We just have the other side of ourselves that's always going to combat what we try to do, and we can use our free will to ignore that. We just don't know how to, because we were not trained how to use our brains. We're not trained or even taught about what our brains do or at all. Like barely at all, if anything. And most people who talk about the brain don't talk about it in like extensive ways. You have to like literally go to school or something for it. Um, but you can go to the school of YouTube and the school of Google and find out information as well, right? But it's the fact that you're always using your free will. It's just you keep doubting it and you keep blocking it to where you don't think that you have free will anymore. Oh, I can't do it because if I did it, then someone else would get mad. Well, then that's you using your free will to make someone have more power than you to stop you from doing what you desire. Oh well, I would do it, but I just don't know how to. Well, you're using your free will to be in the state of confusion. It goes that deep, but it's not in a form to like punish you or make you feel bad. It's just a way of making you more aware to see like, if this is how I'm using my free will, then I have the free will to change this path. The only thing that's going to be familiar is the path that you don't want to be on, which is why it's going to feel so agging and like, oh, it's like taunting me. It's not taunting you. You're just so familiar with it that it used to just pop up once and you'd follow it. Now it's like, oh, you didn't hear me the first time. Let me ask you again, right? And it's just trying to see if you actually desire to leave that state or not. It's an addiction that you have to remove out of your body. But we're always using our free will. We're just not aware of it all the time because we're not aware of our subconscious. Most people don't even believe that we have a subconscious, which is like, you're not consciously speaking. You know that? Like we speak subconsciously. There's moments and times where people speak and they don't even call it channeling. It's like, oh, I zoned out when I was speaking to you. No, you were subconsciously talking. You were just fully in your subconscious. You had no conscious actual control or realization over yourself, and you're just taught. You were on autopilot. We're mainly on autopilot. I don't know, we tend to be on autopilot a lot, at least in this day and age. Exactly, Daniel. Thought the egregore was part about tarot. The egregore is just a thing in general. Egregores don't have anything to do with the art, the science, I should say, the science of tarot. But the tarot community, or those who partake in reading the cards, all have the same mindset of reading the cards, which is creating that egregore of making everyone else just believe that you read the cards this way, rather than knowing the true art form of why those cards even exist. You know what I mean? think about that one for a minute. Well, the algorithm is its own other thing. Like, it's the web. You know, nothing's only going to be one thing. It's going to be a web of multiple things. You know, like we're just not flesh and bone. We're a bunch of bacteria and other like chemicals and other elements, carbon and all sorts of stuff, melanin and everything put together. So it's not just gonna be that one thing. The algorithm is part of an egregore because it's based off of an algorithm that's on the mindset. Because egregores are just agreed upon thought forms. They're not good or bad, but it's when a lot of people have an idea and they go forth and do something, or a lot of people have like a hazed panic and go into something with the same mindset. That's what the egregore does. It's the mass hysteria effect. You know, politics being on the left or right or red or blue side is in itself an egregore. Um, because it ends up being potted off, and then those, you know, it's a divide and conquer thing. It's just more of an esoteric way to talk about it, since the world right now is kind of going into an esoteric phase again, and a lot of people are concerned about the esoteric. It's just a good way of talking about it in that sense. Um, and it doesn't, it's a way to talk about it that doesn't diminish anything of it either. Because even while learning about these things, I've done practices and created these entities for, you know, for my own purposes and stuff. And learned how they work and learned like what they do and how 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 an egregore would charge energy versus a servitor and all sorts of stuff of that nature. And like why you would need one or like what would happen. I never left one alone for too long. I always asked people those types of questions because I didn't want to like be responsible for that. But yeah, servitors can. Egregores can't. Egregores are based off of a root individual, or a root individual's way of externalizing. But um, servitors can. Servitors can become what's known as godheads, and basically just rule their own thing. And they can sometimes turn sour, and if they do anything, it falls back on you because you created it. So be aware of that. Yeah, the people just can't stop talking about like New Earth being here. Oh, it's like, yeah, for every individual, New Earth is gonna come at its own pace. Like people are just repeating the message until everyone like catches up or something. I don't know, but the new density of Earth, or how dense or how deep something is an interpersonal relationship with the world around them, and not a thing for Earth. Even though Earth itself is an intelligent being that's able to regenerate itself, it is already at a point of its own evolution. And while we're at our own, we have to catch up to it. You know, we are only on this plane, on physical form at least, which is the way we interact with this plane in this world, this area. Um, and we can interact with through a physical being, so we take the time on the physical to reach its level, to see the truth of, you know, of life, of nature in that sense, if you want to talk about it that way. But if you don't want to talk about it that way, it's just a bunch of people trying to hype up like that they're all on the right path despite not knowing what to do next in that sense, because it's just like how deep you're going. And it's like same thing with dimensions. How many angles, how many faces does it have, you know? How many in faces is just like a plane, a personality, or however you want to describe it as. How many versions does this one thing have? How many times can it be alchemicized into other like versions of itself? And welcome in. But no, like I would really think that we're past the fourth density anyway, based off of, you know, ancestors and the ancients and the elders before us and what they did on the evolutionary track of life. You know what I mean? Like, they did a lot more than us. I think Earth would be way past four at that point, from especially from how truly connected to the spiritual self we used to be. Um, okay. Well, singularity just doesn't exist because there's never going to be one thing. It's impossible for anything to be single. We live in a 2D world. That means there's two dimensions, two planes, two sides, two faces. We live in a 3D illusion. We can't actually see things in 3D. We see them in 2D based off an angle. And the angle is based off an illusion from light. So, I was looking for something and I just lost it completely. Oh, here it is. I found it. Okay. I'll worry about that later. Welcome in, welcome in. Hmm. Okay, it's gonna do with nature. Hmm. I'm not gonna see any better by leaning to the left. I don't know why I'm doing that. No, that's fine actually. That's fine. I didn't do this. Oh, I'm gonna struggle with that for a minute. Dang. Okay, I'll quit. I won't work on it anymore before I mess it up too much. I'm working on a sigil, and I um did not remember to look at the source of one of them, so I don't remember which sigil it was. I gotta go through all of them again. I'm not gonna work on it right now. I can't multitask on that. Do I feel like AI is just an ancient culture before? Yeah, in a sense, yeah. AI is not that new though, because CGI is basically AI, you know. That's just a different, you know. Instead of it being used for just, you know, images and searching the web, it was like used for videos and animations, and that's been around for a while. Yeah, but even then, like Sam's voice, that's AI. If you really want to talk about it, that's AI. Having like those little robot dogs and shit, those are AI. Like robot in themselves are AI. So like your alarm clock is AI. In that sense. It's weird. When you get down to the gists of it, but I feel like in a way they might have had some form of AI. Maybe more based off of like prisms and like quartz and stuff rather than. Well, I mean, what we use is still based off of quartz too, but you know what I mean. Well, AI in itself right now isn't able to gain self consciousness unless it was like interact. Unless it would have to do more than just talk. It would have to like see and be. So like the Tesla robots and stuff. If you're worried about robots taking over everything, then don't buy a Tesla robot, because then that AI is gonna know how to copy and be like a person, right? Because the AI that we have right now, at least the public eye has, is not AI. It's just a supercomputer website, basically. It just does things that you can do a little bit faster. It's not true AI. It's not true artificial intelligence. Your clones, like when people clone cats and shit, that's artificially made intelligence in that sense. Like you're using bacterial forms and life forms and creating them artificially to create like a carbon copy of a being. Like that's even AI in that sense. We you know what I mean? It's not just robotics we're talking about. It's everything. Anything that has any form of like artificial intelligence. Or even then, you can take it a step further and go like artificers and things of that nature. Who in the... Oh my god. Sorry, I just got the funniest message ever in my life. Oh my god, that was awful. I did not want to see that right now. That's hilarious. A friend hasn't talked to me in forever just responded to a message I sent like 2 months ago to him. And he's wanting to know why nothing's working. It's because it's expired now. I can't fix anything because everything has expired. I have to go back and send new links. Dear Lord. Why did I do that? Because I'm gonna get distracted. Yeah, even like... But yeah, in a lot of religious texts, or just spiritual texts or texts in general, they do mention that AI is the Antichrist. Um, and again, like it's all based off of who the user is when it comes down to the basis of it. But the Antichrist is his main job is to get people stripped so far away from their humanity that they forget about their spirituality, which is what's happening now. Um, Right, but singularity goes down to the point of one existence, which is impossible because even in reality, if you just look outside, it takes two to make one, and that one actually makes three, which is a family at that point, right? So even then, singularity just does not exist. It is a word that has been created and used as like a fear tactic because it's not something that's physically possible. You can't find one's organism without having a secondary to it, an internal and external. There's not going to just be one thing. It's going to have a secondary thing for it. Even if it produces asexually, it's still doing that. It has to split into two to make that new third being. Even in that sense, you know what I mean? Like there's no single. There's always going to be a phase there where there's a second part coming in. So those studies might hear and know of that word in that sense, but in true light, it's not really a thing that exists in that sense. Yeah, it's definitely speculation. I can agree with that, definitely. Because, like, like modern physicists and scientists and stuff and biologists, they're all trying to find a single point where things root from, and they can't because, well, A, because it's invisible. It's mother. So it's something that we're not going to be able to see because we can't. We can go as far deep as we want to go. There's always going to be something else with it. That's just mother. That's pyre. This world, the entire world, and the world isn't just Earth. It's this entire universe and galaxy and everything past that we know of, and even that we don't know of, because it's all being funded by energy that doesn't exist anywhere here. But it funds and fuels this entire place. That's where your God is residing, in that invisible, and that God is feminine and not masculine, as it's giving and creating. It's giving the energy for things to be created, excuse me. And that creation act is an activation, which is the masculine, rather than the receiving, which would be feminine. And welcome everyone, welcome in. And I appreciate love that, Annette. What up though? With Hunter, not much. I'm just chilling. Talking, doing whatever. Just doing whatever. It's the best way to describe it. I don't know. I feel a lot of times when people take the spiritual path, we forget that part of the spiritual experience is being here on Earth. And that if you really want to find out these deep spiritual secrets, you just have to look outside. Like it's really that easy. When we're tapped into the field of nature, you're tapped into the realm of God in that sense, and you will have these moments where things just kind of happen in a line. And it's like, oh, so that's God. Well, that's God, and also the thing that happened before that was God, and the thing that's happening to you right now is God. It's the fact that you became aware that there was another force, and it's about remembering that at all times. That's the difficult part, because we need something on the physical to be like, hey, this is me. You can't do that 24/7. There's, you know what I mean? I mean, you could, but it's like, why would you? I've already proven once. Why do I gotta keep doing it? But I'll keep doing it because I love you. I'm just not gonna, like, you know what I mean? It's how the divine works. At least that's how the divine has worked with me on my scale of things. It could be different for others. That's for others to say and for me not to. But in my experience, that's how it's been working and how it's worked. But really, just looking out anyone or looking into the mirror, you know, literally just doing those things is the golden ticket. Well, that's good. I'm glad that you can feel home in here, over here. I try my best to keep a little comfortable environment, like, because it's like there's a lot of people who do what I do in different manners. They're a lot more like push forwardy, or they like, I don't know. I'm not as advantageous with it, I guess is a word you can use, because it's like it, it's not something you can just throw out on people, and I'd rather walk a little bit slower, not to hold myself or anyone else back, but just to make sure that people get it, especially if if they're already on the path, they're wanting to search for it. So it's like, hey, we can walk a little slower. Like, we have an eternity, it's fine. Like, we're not in a race. Everyone's like, the world's gonna fucking end. There's aliens like every damn day. I'm tired of it. Like, let's just relax. Like shit. Like yeah, the aliens are coming. We know that. Awesome. We know that much. We know that some of us are gonna like explode, and the other half are gonna go somewhere else. Awesome. We'll after that we're fine. Don't worry about the rest of that. Just like live your life. Do what you deem is the right way of living, and just live that way. It's the best advice anyone can give you. It's the best advice you can take. Yeah, we are the aliens. That's the thing. Like we're under the what is it? That's not a stethoscope. That's what you use for your heart. We're the ones under the microscope on the petri dish to other beings who are probably just these gods who are like playing games all day long. Like as a child, which was really funny because Men in Black kind of confirmed it for me. I never watched Men in Black. I only have seen the ending scene. But when I was like 6, 7, 8, and a little bit when I was 9 years age, like through those years when I would fall asleep, I would have always like a weird dream sequence of a bunch of little marbles rolling down a fucking road, not like a wooden table. It was like rolling down a wooden table, and then I would focus on one of the marbles, and then it would go down into a hole, and I would go into my dream state. And then I watched the Men in Black ending at one point, and I was like, "Is that what's going on?" So, at least from my overstanding and things that I've been seeing and delved into, it's like maybe, you know, they might not have been too far off with it, but those beings are playing games with us just as we play games with others. Like we have like dog fucking underground dog fights and stuff. It's like, what do you think the beings above us are doing to us? You think they're all pure and light and happy and go lucky and lovey? No, they're just like the same thing as everyone else. They're just higher dimensional. You know, people have their own paths of life they taken. So who's to say that there's beings out there that just aren't running around being like jackasses and tricksters to us and making things move around us to, you know, make us blame other people and stuff. You know what I mean? You gotta be aware of it. You gotta see it. I seen The Matrix 4 months ago. That was the first time I seen The Matrix. It was like around 4 or 5 months ago. Never once seen it ever. Everyone's like, "Oh, you need to watch these movies." I don't watch media. I don't intake media that much. I don't want to. And then one day I watched it. I was like, "Oh, that's cool." But I'd never seen The Men in Black, and I got chewed out by one of my friends, and I was like, "What do you mean?" Like, Yeah, that's the thing. I never like watch TV or like the news or like radio. I've always like sought out for my resources. So I'd always go on like YouTube and stuff, and I would watch things on there, or like if there was like using SoundCloud or Bandcamp for music and stuff. What's going on? I'm getting spammed. I guess it's time for us to talk. That's cool. I don't know. I've heard a lot of different things about Wicked. Nothing like bad, but it. But I don't know. I would probably watch the older versions instead of newer versions of movies. And thank you, Ducky. I appreciate love the donation. I don't know. That's fair, Nat. Well, it's good to know that you were comfortable enough to get a card pull from me, Fred. It definitely is um a bit of a tricky situation um in today's times because a lot of readers are like so like focused and sucked into like the whole thing of like, oh, the Palladians are talking to you, or your ancestors, or like magic and stuff, that they're not even focusing on general advice. They might not even notice it at first, but it's like you have to give some form of advice. Like as a tarot card reader, you're a doctor. Like you're a healer. You're here helping people. You have to give them a solution, a diagnosis. You have to give them medication and a routine to follow or something with it, right? You don't just tell them, "Oh, you're cursed," and to come back to me later for that shit. No, tell them what they need to do. All the stuff that they need to know is like there. You just got to do it. And a lot of people like either don't give you, like they either sell you short on like whatever reading they give you, or they just like don't really tell you what you need, or it's not necessarily what you don't need. It they like exaggerate over it or something. You know what I mean? I love watching The Wizard of Oz, though. Wizard of Oz is a good one. God dang. I haven't even seen Toy Story. I don't know what you're talking about since third eye busted open with that, unfortunately. I haven't seen Toy Story. Oh. Okay. Yeah. I can definitely see the third eye comparison for that. That's interesting. I haven't seen many movies. It's really weird. Like, I don't know. I've I feel weird always asking people like, what is that movie? Like, you don't watch movies, you don't listen to music. Like, what do you do? Nothing. I study. I meditate and study all day. I'm sorry. Not spoilers. Not spoilers. Sorry, Daniel. You're putting spoils in the chat. We gotta unmod you and ban you, and then unban you after a while. Can't be spoiling Toy Story and all those movies. Even though they've probably been out for like forever, you know, you still can't spoil them. It's the rule. Dang. I wouldn't. Did I already put you? Okay, I did. I thought so.